In the Forsyth family, there's a common ethical standard that we have learned and forged into our daily lives, and that is hard work. I've had the privilege to learn a thing or two from my brother Cully, such as jamming on the drum set to this impactful organization. Cully has taught me to push myself physically, spiritually, and mentally in everything I do. My brother is a great example of seeing a person use his God-given talents, effort, and attitude to get where he is today.
Growing up and being the youngest of two older brothers, I know what it is like to be undersized and outnumbered. My brother Cully has taught me that life will throw you curveballs, whether if it's chasing cows around when they get out, to even losing a wrestling match, and that your passion can lead you to some pretty great places, but only if you try hard at it. Cully is what inspires me every day to be able to take daily challenges head on with a smile and with a positive attitude. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to introduce to you our brother.
And your 2016-2017 North Central State Vice President,
Cully
Forsyth.
We may live our lives a little slower, but that don't mean I wouldn't be proud to show you where I come from. There's an old plowboy out turning up dirt where I come from. There's a preacher man in a cowboy shirt where I come from. Where a couple boys fight in the parking lot. No, nobody's gonna call the cops where I come from.
I'm going to take a moment to rant, but who in Hilton Coliseum right now is the middle child? I feel ya. I have constantly grown up getting less attention than my younger brother and hand-me-downs from my older brother. And while it does seem like they always get the better end of the deal, we have grown super close by doing everything together. And while I spent so many long days and even more long nights at their events, they've always came and supported me at mine. The events where I have been in the spotlight. Today I want to describe 4 of those spotlight moments to you and how they've impacted my life, and one big thing that changed them all. My first spotlight happened my freshman year, where I had finally found my niche. I was a drummer. The way I could hop on those drums and just shred it up made me feel like I was on top of the world. During my sophomore year, myself and 4 of my friends got together and started practicing to perform on Sundays at our local church. The impact we had on those God-loving individuals was way bigger than the music we performed that day. But there was just one thing I'd set aside to focus on this moment. Spotlight number 2. However, this wasn't my only passion. On school nights and weekends, I would go straight to the barn, where I would spend time walking, feeding, to just laying in the pen with my show pigs. This past year, I was fortunate enough to make it to the final drive, and the spotlight on that ring is unlike any other. I will always remember the time I had spent working so hard day and night to make it to that stage. The impact this industry's had on me is one I will love forever. But there was still that one thing I could never seem to get off my mind. Spotlight number 3. It was finally time for the one place I was definitely meant to be. The mask got pulled out, wrestling shoes tied up, the gym was packed, and a spotlight on the center of the mat. Tied 6-6, both up, 30 seconds left in the third period. All that had to happen was one takedown, and the match would be won. Sweating like crazy, the takedown was made, and the referee raised my brother's hand. You see, I was in the stands at the very top, wishing that was me. Out of all these spotlight moments, this is the one that I wanted most. But it was taken away by something I'd done to myself. You see, the one thing that was bothering me while doing all these events was my grades. I was spending too much time doing other activities. I wasn't focusing on homework or studying for tests, but this was my senior year. This was my spotlight. FFA members, when we're in the spotlight, all eyes are on us, and it can be a lot of pressure. But when we have an amazing opportunity to serve as a role model to others. My brother was my role model. The way that he used that moment, the moment that I wanted most to impact those around him, was amazing. And as I show you my last spotlight moment, I want you all to know you have an amazing opportunity to serve as a role model and impact those around you. Spotlight number 4. This is my first blue corduroy jacket. And the coolest thing about this spotlight moment is that I get to impact other people. We all get to impact other people. You see, while I was ecstatic after the awesome drumming performance, I was always worried about my grades. And while I loved making a relationship with my livestock, I always felt guilty about that math book inside that I'd never opened. And that day I had to walk up to my coaches and my parents and tell them I couldn't be on the wrestling team anymore because of my grades, always led me back to this blue jacket. You see, my ag room is where I did my homework. My ag room is where I found my closest friends. And my ag room is where I found my largest and most important spotlight. FFA members, again, when we're in the spotlight, we have two choices. We can either, 1, take all the glory and make it about ourselves, or we can, 2, use that moment to impact those around us. Some of my favorite spotlight moments this year include making some sweet tie blankets with the South Hamilton FFA members, riding a crazy donkey with the Belmont, Clemmy, and Tallcorn FFA chapters, and seeing some of my best friends from Charles City unveil a project they worked so hard to accomplish. 1 month ago, I had the opportunity to travel to Michigan for their state convention. And as I sat in that convention hall, just like every other member, I listened to the keynote speaker. The first thing that he said to us was, "This convention isn't about you." I was so confused. I just sat in that car for 8 hours to listen to a speaker tell me it wasn't about me or the people there. The truth is, he was right. This convention isn't about us. It's about using this experience to impact those people who aren't fortunate enough to have this blue jacket or come to this conference. FFA members, this is your turn. Use your own spotlight and impact those around you. Please, whether it's drumming, whether it's showing livestock, or whether it's athletics, focus on your grades. Impact those around you and impact those people that you need by using your spotlight.
Forget yes.